Rabbonim, family, friends, and of course my incredible father. It is with tremendous humility and pride that I stand here this evening. It's often said that one doesn't need a Torah in order to be a good person, and in all honesty, that's the truth. However, in order to be a good Jew, one cannot rely on intuition alone, and therefore one requires an immense volume of work to cover all the nuances that make up an observant Jew. Tonight, we are here to celebrate a particular holy Yid's astonishing endeavors to cover every word of this gigantic body of information. For those of you who are unaware, my wonderful dad has now done Shas Mishnah 10 times, Shas Bavli twice. He's busy working through every inch of the Tanakh, and he has now just completed Shas Yerushalmi. To say that it's impressive or that I'm proud doesn't do it justice. But unfortunately, my very limited vocab doesn't allow me to express my views accurately enough, and therefore these unsuitable words will have to suffice. Tonight is a wonderful celebration of Torah, a celebration matched in its rareness by its specialness, and it stands as a testament to the type of person I'm so lucky to have as a father. I will be your MC tonight, and with my father's punctuality and his concern for people's time in mind, I'm not going to say much to myself tonight, and I'll keep things moving on schedule, I hope. So, let us begin this truly auspicious occasion. If I've managed to successfully keep the following surprise from my father, then I am eligible to work for the Mossad. Sworn to secrecy, I've had to dive, duck and dodge this addition to a very tight schedule. However, those of us who are in the know knew that it was not negotiable that this be included in the evening. And I would now like to ask David Aronovitz to please come up and read an incredibly special letter from someone equally special. David.
To our Chosim, honored Rabbonim, Rabbi Goldschmidt, Rabbi Levenstein, Rabbi Pearl, the guest tonight, Rabbi Cohen, Rabbi Zaklo, and guests and family. They say you shouldn't dance at two chasnas. I have a very close friend's chasna tonight. I also have a chosin Torah here, and I felt that Talmud Torah K'nei Kulam was an absolute necessity. To be here tonight on something which I feel that everybody sitting here, and sadly, many people out there, here in our country, and in other countries too, should be humbled by what has been completed by Phil. I've been on this journey with Philip for some years now, incessantly fastidious in his approach to me, putting me under enormous pressure to ensure that his Gemaras would arrive as soon as Art Scroll could put them out. He would be on to me far quicker than I even read that they'd come out by him following it on the internet. And really, one of the opportunities round tonight was to try and get somebody from Art Scroll to be involved in tonight's occasion. Unfortunately, due to age and to pressure and health, Reb Nosson Sherman, the co-founder of Art Scroll Masorah Publications, who's the key editor of the whole program that Art Scroll had put out and changed the Torah world in such a way, could not make it tonight. But instead, in speaking to me, he has sent a message which I'd like to read to you, Philip. Dear Mr. Abelson, when David Aronovitz wrote to me about your marvelous upcoming Siyum, I was overcome with admiration. You are unique in South Africa and one of an elite group worldwide. Our sages write that the whole universe may exist in the merit of one righteous Jew. I will not embarrass you by saying that you are that Jew, but you are surely one of the few about who Hashem says, Yisrael, in you I take pride. I will share your achievement with the scholars and editors who are diligently moving ahead to produce the remaining volumes in the Schottenstein edition of Yerushalmi. May it be Hashem's will that a few years from now, the community will celebrate with you again as you complete the final Yerushalmi with us in joy and in good health. I wish I could say Mazel Tov in person, but age and health have prevented me from making this arduous trip. And I hope that David will tell me, and he has been told about an hour ago, and he's having a l'chaim with you, that I will drink a l'chaim in your honor from afar. Very sincerely, Lawson Sherman.
That was obviously unbelievable. Thank you very much to David. The Beis Midrash Chofetz Chaim has to be given the credit for starting this journey for my father. And there was a truly wonderful Rav that was at the start of it all. Unfortunately, Rav Pfeiffer could not be here tonight, but he has been kind enough to send a letter to share his thoughts with us. I would like to call up my brother Adam to please read the Rav's letter for us while dinner is being served.
Good evening. So, before I start reading the letter, I just wanted to say that a great thing about family is that we support each other through varied interests. And my dad supports me through my strange hobbies, playing music and writing things that he doesn't really relate to or understand, but he supports it. And so we come here and we celebrate this incredible achievement. And what's nice about it is I get to stand in front of an audience bigger than any that's ever watched me play music. So that's good too. So with that, I'll try to cough away from the microphone. I will read this letter from the rabbi. Please remember these words are not mine, so I can't take credit for the good ones. And I'm sure they're all good. Well, no, they're all good. With permission of Kavod Harav Goldschmidt, the Chosn Torah Full, our visiting Rabbi, Rabbi Perel, Rabbonim, all the beloved members of our beautiful Beit Midrash Chofetz Chaim established 27 years ago, and all my very dear friends in South Africa. I wanted very much to be with all of you to share in this great simcha, about which Reb Chaim said, all who participate in this Kavod Shamayim will receive great reward. Unfortunately, it is just not possible. The rabbis and the people of Beit Midrash Chofetz Chaim are as one with the Messiah, as are the entire Klal Yisrael in the completion of Shas, and will bring the coming of Mashiach soon. The Kloisenberger Rebbe says, as everybody knows, the name of the Satan is Semael. This abbreviation equates to Siyum Masechet Ein La'asot. The Siyum of the Masechet must not take place. He does not want us to complete Masechtot, even more so Shas, which is many Masechtot, and especially not in a group setting like this one, which has even more power, more spiritual strength. One Simchat Torah, when in Beit Midrash Chofetz Chaim, we sold the honors, not for money, but for learning in Torah. Phil was the first person to commit to 1,000 Mishnayot, buying Hagbah, when he had essentially never opened a Mishnah and certainly never learned in a yeshiva. And just as an aside, I can say I do remember him coming home and saying he had committed to 1,000 Mishnahs and also what is a Mishnah. Back to the letter. I know how much effort and toil the Chosn Torah Full has put in while faced with an enormous number of huge challenges, which with the help of Hashem he overcame. We have seen in our Chosn Torah over the years the changes and the upliftment of a true Ben Torah who has had a profound influence on people. Know that Reb Shraga Fiver, Full, has been learning for 25 years, diligently and consistently, rising at 5 a.m. daily, summer and winter, anywhere and everywhere. In big cities, small towns, and even in the bush, even in waiting rooms and when he couldn't sleep due to worry, at 4 o'clock in the morning or even 3 o'clock in the morning. Instead of wasting his time and falling into despair, he took a Mishnah, Gemara Bavli, or Gemara Yerushalmi with consistency that is hardly seen. He has luchot, diaries, uses logbooks recording every sefer, every masechet, every seder, learned over 25 years, recorded as he concluded them. Phil did not start with Shas Yerushalmi. He repeated the entire Shas Mishnayot, using Kahati in Hebrew and English 6 times before he moved to a higher class and started the Gemara, learning every page, the Aramaic, the Hebrew, the English translation, and the notes, whilst finding regularly in the commentary of the Talmud Yerushalmi references to the Be'er of Gaon Harav Chaim Kanevsky, feeling a strong connection and as if he was a student of the Gadol Hador himself. I'd like to refer you to Gemara Bavli Yoma, page 35b. The rabbis taught in a baraisa, A poor person, a wealthy person, and a wicked person came to judgment in the next world. The poor person is asked, why did you not engage in Torah study? If he says, I was poor and preoccupied with earning a living, they can say to him, were you any poorer than Hillel, who even though he lived in absolute, abject, dire poverty, he overcame all obstacles to study Torah? He would earn a tiny coin and give half of it to the guard of the study hall to permit him entrance to learn. The wealthy person is asked, why did you not engage in Torah study? And if he says, I was wealthy, preoccupied with managing my possessions, then they can say to him, were you any wealthier than Rabbi Eliezer ben Charson, who inherited 1,000 cities on dry land, and corresponding to that, 1,000 ships at sea? Yet each and every day he would walk from town to town and province to province to learn Torah, even once being arrested and taken to custody to perform work for his own municipal officials who did not know him because he did not become involved in civic affairs, only in Torah study. The wicked person is asked why he did not engage in Torah study, and if he would say that was because he is so handsome he became misled by his evil inclination, then they'll ask him if he was more handsome than Yosef HaTzadik, who overcame his evil inclination and did not allow the wife of Potiphar to entice him with whatever alluring attire and tricks she tried, nor with any of the threats that she made to his safety and security, responding that all his trust for his well-being resides with Hashem. The Baraisa concludes, we thus find that Hillel obligates the poor person who did not learn Torah. Rabbi Elazar ben Charson obligates the wealthy people, while Yosef HaTzadik obligates people who lack self-control. If someone will say today here in South Africa or elsewhere in the world that he is unable to learn because he doesn't know Aramaic or Hebrew, or he never learned any yeshiva, or he's too involved in striving for parnasa or committed to the issues created by excess wealth, even say that his yetzer hara, his smartphone, his internet, his TV control him, then we can look at our Chosn Torah. The Gemara Bavli Masechet Shabbos Daf 118b Abaya said, may a reward come my way, because wherever I see a young Talmudic scholar who finishes to learn a tractate, I make a holiday. I make a Yom Tov, a happy day and a feast for the entire community. The Magen Avraham explains, for even those who do not themselves study the tractate together with the one who learned, are also part of the Siyum as if they had learned themselves. So that's all of you. Why did he make it a holiday, a holy day, a Yom Tov, not only for the one who learned, but for everybody? What business is it of the community, an individual Siyum? We make Siyumim as a group, as a unit of many, in order to encourage and strengthen the learner, to bolster his inner strength, give him inner courage and public recognition, driving him to complete this immense task. Therefore, it is the people around and with the learner who make the student happy, as well as cause themselves to reach a level of happiness when sharing in the completion of Shas. Because without the communal backing, support, and encouragement of the masses, one would not reach the level of completing a Masechet, never mind the Shas. According to the Rambam, each of us is influenced by the people in his environment. Hagaon Harav Moshe Feinstein in his Igeret Moshe, volume 9, page 372, writes that the happiness and participation is not only of and by the local Jewish people. Even members of Klal Yisrael who do not learn benefit from the one who learns, because Torah brings creation and existence to the world. The more Torah there is, the higher the level of the world, both physically and spiritually, as well as an increase in the goodness and the blessings. And therefore, it's the entire Jewish nation that is happy and shares in our simcha. We see from this as well how important, for example, Rabbi Cohen's Daf Yomi Shir is. The Gaon Reb Moshe Feinstein concludes his letter with the following bracha. Each one of the participants in the Siyum should also be zocher to sit and learn with a love for Torah and have a long life with a clear mind and merit the blessings of the Torah, as it is written, Orach Yamim Beyamineh. Length of days is on the right. Ubesmala Asher Vakavod. And on the left is wealth and honor for those that learn and for their sons and daughters for generations to come. He concludes that he is a friend of each participant in the Siyum and those who join in learning, and that people learning, whether on their own or in a group, form a joint effort in Klal Yisrael, which will enable us to achieve every Jew's aim, which is to see Mashiach very, very soon. Full, my Father obligates us all. Therefore, we all need to start learning now, tonight, without procrastination. Participate in Shiurim, come to the Beit Midrash, and be part of the learning community. He has shown us the way. With Torah greetings and much love, Avraham Yayahu Foifa. Thank you.
So, to continue, when I was in Eretz Israel, I had the phenomenal privilege of going to see and to meet the Gadol Hador, Rav Chaim Kanievsky. It's hard for one to imagine how difficult it is to get access to this great tzaddik. His time is so precious and valuable, and the video, which you will see shortly, and the time given by one of the holiest human beings of our time is on the verge of miraculous. I would like to ask Rav Aran Cohen to please come up to introduce this special video.
Thank you. Thank you so the Kosh of the Rabbonim, this holy tzibur. I'm fortunate in being friends with Paul for many years. We had Kabrusa together for many years. And I'd like to share one or two short points which I think are relevant to the video we're about to see. What the video we're about to see is, let me put it very bluntly, is we're going to see a video of an old man. But this old man is often referred to as the Sarah Torah, the Prince of Torah. This old man regularly, on an annual basis, essentially finishes Kol HaTorah Kulo. This man is the son of the Starkler Zatzal, the nephew of the Chazon Ish, and as was mentioned by Daniel, a very, very special individual. And he also makes the Siyum Yerushalmi. So one of the points that came up in discussion over the years between Phil and myself is, how relevant is it what he's doing? How relevant? So I had the good fortune on Shabbos, I was looking in the Sefer, the Nefesh HaChaim, from Reb Chaim Volozhiner, and at the back it has various incidents, and it brings over there an incident in the name of the Chofetz Chaim. And he says about Reb Chaim Volozhiner, that Reb Chaim Volozhiner used to stand up for a certain balabait, a certain balabos in Volozhin. And this balabos had gone through Shas a number of times. And in Volozhin Yeshiva, there were very many great Talmidei Chachamim, and essentially they asked Reb Chaim Volozhiner, how well does this guy actually know it? So he responded as follows. He said, recently they had a new printing of the Shas, an Amsterdam printing of the Shas. And he said, the Amsterdam printing of the Shas, we know, he said, was very much more beautiful and it had less errors than the previous Shas. He says, but nobody in their wildest dreams would say that the previous Shas did not have the sanctity and the Kedusha of the Shas. The Gemara at the end of Menachos says a very important principle when it comes to learning. And it's a principle that each and every one of us have to take to heart. When it's discussing the various korbanos, the various sacrifices that are brought, it refers to them with the phrase, Reyach Nichoyach, a pleasing aroma. It means Hashem finds favor in what was done. And this can be whether the sacrifice was a huge bull, or this can be if it was a small bird, or even a mincha, a flower offering. And it says it comes to tell us a principle. Echad amar b'echad amamit. Whether a person does a lot or a person does a little, ubilvad sheyichav libo l'shamayim, as long as his intent is for heaven. So we must know that we could be in the Beis Hamikdash and we would see two people offering their sacrifices. One person, as I said, with this enormous bull worth thousands and thousands, and another person, he comes, a poor man with just a little bit of flour. There's no way of knowing who is more beloved in the eyes of Hashem. Now, Moira B'Rabboisai, each and every one of us, we have to take the lesson from full. That is why we have in such a gathering. We have to take the lesson, and each and every one of us have to do what we can do. And when we do that, this evening is testimony. We have no idea how far we can reach. Thank you.
שנים היה חברוסה של הרב שטיימן.
יש יהודי בדרום אפריקה שהוא למד כבר ש"ס בבלי, יהודי בלבוס, ועכשיו למד ש"ס ירושלמי. אז הרוב הש"ס ירושלמי יש את הביאור של הארט סקול, אז הם מביאים כל הזמן מהרב, כל הזמן אומר, לא את הפירוש של הרב, חוץ מ100 דפים שעוד לא הספיקו לעשות איזה פירוש. אז הוא למד את הירושלמי פעמיים, הוא קרא את הירושלמי, הוא רוצה לעשות סיום על הירושלמי. אז דבר ראשון הוא עושה סיום גדול, הוא רוצה לחזק את כולם, לעורר אותם. הוא רשם כל יום מה שהוא למד כבר יותר מ-20 שנה, ש"ס בבלי, ש"ס משנייס, ש"ס ירושלמי. הוא שואל מה הוא יכול להגיד לציבור לחזק אותם.
להגיד שיהיה להם שכר גדול.
From first-hand experience, I can guarantee that that video experience was about as unheard of as Liverpool winning the English Premier League. It's very rare, that's the point. In fact, it's non-existent. There's only one person that I know personally that can compete with my dad when it comes to the sheer volume of text viewed by a pair of eyes. That would be his son and my brother, Saul. I would like to ask him to please come up and introduce the Torah celebrant from tonight.
So I had a speech written, and then I heard everyone else talking, and I realized that I was just going to be talking nonsense in my first speech. So we're going to go a little bit off the topic, I suppose. I don't really understand Mishnah, as you can see. I don't have the black hat and the black coat for sure. But a few years ago, my dad decided to take up swimming, and it was out of nowhere. He just decided to start swimming. And he always says he went to sit in the pool the first time and he jumped in and he nearly drowned. And he swam 10 lengths and he was, I don't know, suitably unimpressed with himself. He said he'd come back and he said, like, wow, I tried 10 lengths and I want to be a swimmer and it's not working. But every day he went back to the pool. He got a season pass, he found out where all the public pools were all around Joburg. Every morning at 5 o'clock, off he went to the swimming pool, and he was dedicated. And a couple of years down the line, he was doing like 120 lengths of sitting in a pool every couple of days, which is about 3.5 kilometers. He would go to the beach, and instead of relaxing in a chair, he would go out, past back line, past the waves, and swim. And I thought he was nuts, most people did, but he carried on. Eventually he swam, I believe, a mid-mile mile, hated it. Was it mid-mile or a sea swim, an ocean swim? Hated it, wasn't there for the recognition. The point is, he was the same with Mishnah. He went to a Simchat Torah dinner. There was a tradition in his shul, the new shul that he'd come to bid Mishnayot for honors at the Ark and for picking up the Torah and for all the different things. And my dad came home with this bid of 1,000 Mishnahs and he was nonplussed. He's like, how the hell am I going to do this? And so the next day, he opened the Mishnah book and he swam his 10 lengths and he nearly drowned. Fast forward a few years later and look at this. Lots of black belts. Lots of black belts. Again, I don't really understand it, but me and my brother joked that if we said that my dad has climbed the Mount Everest of Torah learning, see, it's happening. We said we'd say it, and the guys in the know would go, yes, and they would nod their heads. So we were right. I don't understand it. Some of you might not. If you don't, it's Mount Everest of learning. So with humility and honor, I welcome my dad.
First of all, with the permission of the Moed Asher, Rabbi Goldschmidt, our visiting Rabbi Pearl, my good friend, Rabbi teacher, Rabbi Khan, and all the Rabbanim, I've asked permission to speak. But before I get into the heavy stuff, I need to just be a little bit lighter because otherwise it's just all too serious. This Yerushalmi thing is deep, and it's heavy. Don't let anybody kid you. It's lighter than the Babli because it's only 47 books, whereas Babli is 73. But let me tell you the odd thing. A Rebbetzin arrives at, here's our completed Shas Yerushalmi, arrives at my front door with a chocolate cake. Well, that's fantastic. Nobody told me that that's one of the benefits. I'm standing in the street. This guy with a black hat and a big beard and a big black jacket, the next thing he's hugging and kissing me. Nobody told me that that would happen. It was a bit odd, but okay. And all of a sudden, wherever I go, people are suddenly, I hardly know them. I might know their name if I'm lucky, but they know my name. They hug and kiss, and this is great stuff. Nobody told me that was one of the benefits of Yerushalmi. There's a few things that I wanted to say. In light of Rabbi Foifer's letter, that you need to know that definitely the Shas is a worldwide uniting factor for Jews. I'm going to give you a quick example. The people from Beit Midrash Chofetz Chaim have perhaps heard it. So the very first Gemara in Yerushalmi was given to me as a present by David Aronovitz, who spoke earlier from the Kollel. I'm sure that he didn't know that that would then cause me to drive him crazy in order to specially import Yerushalmi Gemaras for me. Then my good friend Akiva Lipschitz, asked me, do I need any Gemaras? I said, yeah, I do. Why? He said, no, he's got somebody coming from Eretz Yisrael. The next thing he arrives at my house with 2 Gemaras. I said, okay, what do I owe you for them? He says, no, this Israeli man brought them. I said, what's his name? No, he doesn't know. And he says there's one of 2 options you can have. Either you can pay me $100 per Gemara, or you can put this sticker, which he already had prepared in Israel, into each of the Gemaras, and you can learn them in memory of one of his family members. I was humiliated, stunned, shocked. But this guy, I didn't know him. If he walks in here right now and he starts dancing on this table, I don't know that it's him. I have no idea who he is. But I can tell you that I did learn in honor of his family member that he liked. I was sitting on the airplane to Cape Town, I think. A chap was sitting next to me, saw me learning, thought, this guy, well, who's he? Just next thing he starts asking me about the Gemara. He says, this is a funny book. I said, yes. He says, it's a Gemara. I really was now intrigued. Turned out he was an Israeli. He was a member of Sydenham Shul, right here where we are. He'd never heard of Talmud Yerushalmi. Then I have a friend, my friend David, whose daughter lives in America. She was coming to South Africa, and I needed some Gemaras. David just couldn't get them in quick enough. So from Colorado, where did she stay? In Denver, Colorado. I said, how do I do this? So she explained to me how you can buy from ArtScroll these Gemaras online, completely foreign to me, more foreign to me, in fact, than Yerushalmi was by that stage. How do I do it? Deliver it to her house, The next thing, she arrives here in South Africa and calls me up, I've got these 2, your parcels. What I didn't realize is each one weighs almost 2 and something kilos. So for somebody traveling, you know they have a limit in their bags. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I'm an extremely emotional person. So you might have to just bear with me. If you do, You watch Kathy, because she'll get emotional with me, so don't watch me. All right. It is very humbling to stand before Hashem and you tonight to celebrate the Messiah, the Shasmi Talmud Yerushalmi. Small and trembling before our beloved Hashem, who has graced me with the ability, strength, and resilience to achieve this, and that you are permitting me to speak here tonight. I offer to Hashem my most profound thanks for all that He has done for my family and for me. Kavod Rav Goldschmidt. Thank you for all that you have done for over a decade, not only for me, but for the entire BMCC Kehillah and friends of the Kehillah, even during what were for you most trying times. Our guest of honor, our honor of Shalom Perel, heartfelt appreciation for making this long journey down Africa taking time from your family and busy schedule to show us how far one must go to honor the Torah, and for the support and encouragement you are giving to the Jews of South Africa. I need a water. In fact, I need a whiskey. Thank you, Rabbi. I lack the articulation to express my deepest and most heartfelt gratitude. I want you all to my beloved wife Kathy and my wonderful children, but they well know how I feel. Kavod Rav Shaya Pfeiffer, who you heard from earlier, set me on this road for which he has my literal eternal thanks, from this world into the next. The major share of thanks and reward resides with my beloved wife Kathy, as always, together always and in everything. To all the Rabbonim and the Rebbitzins, especially my good friends, my teacher, Rabbi Ran and Rebbitzin Leon Cohen, to all those present, family and friends, thank you for being here to give honor to the Torah, encouragement and support to me, which I so badly need. If you think I've forgotten you, I have not. To all those from Beit Midrash Chofetz Chaim, men and women, young and old, a very warm and special thank you for listening to me over the years and for the decade of encouragement and support which you have so generously, warmly and magnanimously given me to persistently proceed with the beautiful Torah that Hashem has given to the world. I especially must mention my 4 young friends from the Kehillah who give me encouragement week after week, month after month, and even my friend Gabi Goldblatt, who has gone to yeshiva in Israel, who sent me an email and called to wish me Mazel Tov. And to these boys, I'd like to give a special thanks and for their chizuk and encouragement day after day. Yehuda Shalom Lipschitz, Aaron Gershon Lipschitz, and Yisachar Goldblatt. I hope and pray that you all have in turn gained some motivation, and everybody here tonight will do the same. Be encouraged to learn. One more word, one more line, one more page, another sefer, another masechet, because it is Limud Torah, the lifeblood on which the world stands, which keeps the world turning. Women recite every morning the brocha, Shasani Kirtzono, who has made me in consonance with his will. Some explains to me that although women were exempted from some of the mitzvahs assigned to men, in fact women are created closer to Hashem's ideal of satisfaction. Women with their calm, reserved natures have been the protectors of Yiddishkeit when the impetuosity and aggressiveness of men has led the men astray. The classic illustration, of course, from yesterday's Pasha is from the Midbar, the desert, where the men worship the golden calf, a sin for which we have been paying since, whilst the women abstain totally from the Aveira. According to Korban Ada and Pedai Moshe and Sota, they explain the verse, if she has merit, is referring to the merit of Limud Torah. Although a woman is not commanded to learn Torah, she receives credit for assisting her sons and husband in the Limud Torah, taking her sons to learn, giving her husband permission to take time from his family, and even, perhaps, to travel distances to enhance his studies. Ben Azai says, it befits a father to teach his daughter Torah. From Psachim we learn, you shall not form factions. This verse forbids Bnei Israel to divide themselves into different groups, with one group observing a certain practice and another a different practice. From Bavli Yevamos we see that such a division gives the impression that there is more than one Torah. Alternatively, at its very base level, Chazal instruct us to prevent conflict within Bnei Israel. It is firmly declaimed that with respect to Limud Torah, one is obligated not merely to learn it, but to honor it by reciting the brachas in advance. The prophet Jeremiah, chastised the Jews of his time for forsaking Torah. This phrase, explained in Talmud Bavli, means that they commenced their Limud Torah without reciting the appropriate brachot, indicating a lack of appreciation of the importance, the holiness of the Torah, tantamount to not learning Torah at all. So to say, the pre-learning brachot bestow value on the learning. From Pei it is learned that only through Limud Torah does a person understand how to fulfill mitzvahs between man and his fellow. In Brochas Bavli it says, even one who has learned Tanakh but not Talmud has therefore not acquired a true comprehension of the Torah and is regarded as an Amaretz, teaching that if one wants to fully understand and comprehend the Torah and the Tanakh, one is obligated to learn Gemara. The famed Rebbe was regarded as the Yaakov of his generation, in some sense remaining eternally alive. Yaakov's great ruchnius, spiritual depth, culminated in the light of the written Torah, whilst Rebbe's action culminated in the light of the oral Torah, the Mishnah. Rebbe infused Bnei Yisrael with the dynamism and light of the Shisha Sidra Mishnah. From then, any person who bound himself to the Torah Shabbal Peh has enjoyed a personal redemption and become capable of surviving the exile, the galus. Rav Mana said, that the phrase for it, the Torah, is not an empty thing from you, can be understood as implying that if you find that it is empty, the failure stems from you, the person, not from the Torah. The question is, why do you find it empty? The answer is that you do not toil to understand it. The verse continues, for it is your life. When is it your life? When you toil in the Torah, when you work to understand it, as though your life depends on it. Rashi explains it to mean that there are no empty words in the Torah. Every single detail contains an important message. In order to understand the Torah, one must treat it as one's life. As a person would make every effort to save his life, so must he make every effort to understand the full meaning of the Torah. Every letter, every word, every nuance. Limud Torah educates us about Hashem's sovereignty and is a means, according to Yafeh Mareh, to this end. For a fragment of the Yerushalmi Gemara found in the Kaira Geniza, the Ozarua and Reb Barachia's statement continues. Since during the week one is busy with his work and has no time to occupy himself with words of Torah, the festival days, the Chagim and Shabbat, were given to him in order that one occupy oneself with words of Torah. Moed Katan teaches that Hashem gave us the festivals for the purpose of embracing the awe and love of the Almighty and for Limud Torah. We find further support to this idea from Shabbos, where Reb Berechia said in the name of Chia Baba, the Shabbat and Chagim were not given for any purpose other than to occupy oneself with words of Torah. The Korban HaEdah clarifies that the study of Tanakh is secondary to the study of Mishnah. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai ascribes greater priority to the learning of Mishnah and Talmud than to Limud Tanakh, saying that one who engrosses himself in Limud Mishnah alone accomplishes a measure for which he receives much reward. Rabbeinu Hananel explains that the study of Tanakh is seen as less important than Limud Mishnah and Talmud because it does not provide one with a full explanation and understanding of the mitzvahs. There exists only one truth, and that is Torah, says Talmud Megillah and Rosh Hashanah. The word truth in this instance signifies nothing other than the Torah. We know this from the statement, purchase truth, meaning Torah. Proverbs or Mishnah explains, do not sell its knowledge, discipline and understanding. Gemara Rosh Hashanah states conclusively that reciting the Shema at the proper times is referred to as tzidkios, righteousness. Alternatively, Shema is referred to as tzidkios or emes, truth, since it proclaims the oneness of Hashem, which is the greatest and most fundamental truth of all. The Gaon, Rav Chaim Kanievsky further explained this. We learn from Talmud Rosh Hashanah that Hashem blessed as He said to Bnei Israel, since you accepted upon yourself the yoke of Torah, I consider you as though you never sinned in your life. Bnei Moshe explains that Shavuos, the day we accept the Torah and renew our resolve to dedicate ourselves to Torah's continual study, has the power, the supernatural energy to cleanse all our sins. For diligence and toil in Limud Torah atone for sin. In Tanis, Reb Chanina regarding repenting for sin says, regret your former actions, and in addition, toil in Limud Torah. For it is written, the cure of the tongue is the tree of life, the Heilige Torah. Talmud Chagiga expounds that the protectors of the city are the teachers of Torah and Mishnah, not the military, not the police. Rather, Hashem gives the city protection based on the merit of the Torah studied there. A person or even a city must be aware that Hashem does not overlook the abandonment of Limud Torah. Rav Chia Bar quotes Hashem, had the Bnei Israel been guilty of forsaking me alone, I would bear it, provided they had learned and observed my Torah. If they had forsaken me but kept my Torah, the Torah would have brought and kept them closer to me. Chagiga quotes Talmud Yerushalmi. Limud Torah prompted by some ulterior motive has the power of bettering a person, improving them. A further verse from the Torah, explained from Babli Kiddushin, says that Limud Torah is the spice that enables one to deal with the trials of the Yetzer Hara. The spice that is in the Torah brings us closer to Hashem. Limud Torah, according to Bnei Moshe, enables one to repent and return to Hashem. Chagiga quoting Korban HaEdah. One should learn Torah with a proper amount of enthusiasm, learning all that one is capable of, but not that which is beyond one. From Nazir, we learn through a conversation with Rabbi Tarfon with Rabbi Akiva. Whoever separates himself from you, it is as if he separates from his own life. This is explained by the Rambam, as without Limud Torah, the lives of wise people and those who speak wisdom is like death. The commentary from the Bureau of Haggah and Rav Chaim Kanievsky, who we just saw, says, attending to those who learn Torah is even greater than studying under them. According to Rashba, and Brochus commenting on the obligation of a person to emulate the heavenly angels during prayer, tefillah, an angel is a spiritual being existing only to recognize, praise, and serve Hashem. Man was created for the purpose of recognizing, praising, and serving Hashem. However, man is instructed to exert himself to attain this level of perfection. It does not come naturally as it does to an angel. conducting himself to act as an angel in physical form. To achieve this, to emulate the angels, one must perform Hashem's avodah, tefillah, davening. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai's view is that Limud Torah has more significance than tefillah or saying Shema. Rabbi Chanina ben Akanya holds, however, that devoted Torah scholars and scribes are exempt from prayer but obligated in saying Shema at its rightful time, on the basis that the obligation for tefillah is derabanan, whilst the obligation to recite the Shema is deraisa, a Torah obligation. From Tanis it is learned that Chizkiyahu's generation was worthy of blessings because they toiled in Limudei Torah. We also learn that anyone who prays profusely is generally honored. Hence, Chazal introduced Ne'ilah. Rashi and Orach Chaim note, however, that one who prolongs davening should not do so with the expectation that he is deserving of a favorable answer. As for Tefillah, Yerushalmi says, Hashem does not give the tzaddikim what they need because He craves their Tefillah. He wants them to reach more deeply into the depths of their neshamas, to cry out to Him, in that way getting closer to and cleaving to Him. According to the Beer of Agan Rav Chaim Kanievsky, in order to preempt adversity, a person should regularly daven to Hashem for good fortune. A person should not wait until misfortune strikes to commence davening. This, he says, is likened to one's relationship with his doctor. If one is careful to show respect to the doctor when he does not require medical services, then when he does, the doctor will be amenable to come and to offer treatment to the person in need. Rosh Hashanah and Sanhedrin explain that atonement comes through the power of tefillah, as shown by the house of Eli. Eli's sin was beyond tshuva, even through a sacrifice. But we see that through the much more difficult, powerful vehicle of tefillah, prayer, it could be atoned for. Yafir Marais says, by means of deep prolonged tefillah, Bavli Brocha states that the power of tefillah is greater than the sacrifices of the Beit Mikdash, and that prolonged tefillah prolongs one's life. On the other hand, however, Bavli Rosh Hashanah expresses that the sin of the house of Eli could be atoned for through Limud Torah, and according to Abaya, through Gemilut Chassidim. Rav Kahana argues that only tefillah can atone for the sins of the house of Eli. We get to Sanhedrin, which quotes Melech David. Like a baby that descended from the womb of its mother, so was my soul to me. This is explained by Korban Ha'eda and Yafir Marais as follows. Just as a baby is not too proud to nurse from its mother, so was my soul. For I am not too proud to learn Torah from the lowest members of Bnei Yisrael. Remember that this is the King of Israel speaking. Binding Limud Torah and Tefillah so succinctly together is a quote from the book of Sharim Tefillah by the late Rav Shimshon David Pincus, who gave some of the most profound, wonderful shirim at Beit Midrash Chofetz Chaim, and me tremendous chizuk. It is written about Sarai Maimon. Sarai was barren, she had no children. Chazal interprets this verse to mean that she did not even have a womb. She completely lacked any ability to hold a fetus. It is just the same with the Holy Torah, whose nature is, my words are like fire, from Yirmiyahu. We humans truly don't have the means, the vessel, or the heart and mind to hold the word of Hashem. Therefore, tefillah is needed to carve out a receptacle in which Hashem's perfect Torah may be held. Once again, from Baba Basra al-Khatu, we learn from Rabbi Shai, there is in fact no weakness greater than that of a receipt of the Torah, or after toiling in Limud Torah, one might still forget it all. The commentaries go further to say that this can be disheartening at times, this tendency to forgetfulness. It is, however, ultimately beneficial for the Torah student because it forces him to devote all his time and effort solely to Limud Torah. The Mishnah in Avos 2, verse 12 states, apply yourself to study Torah, for it is not yours by inheritance. I implore you all to comply with this Mishnah from Avos. Apply yourself to Limud Torah, for it is not yours by inheritance, and make the world a better, a more complete place. My greatest thanks. I wish you all shalom v'brocha, and will now conclude with the last of the Gemara, the Hadran and the Kaddish. Thank you. Yerushalmi finishes actually with Mishnah and a discussion with the rabbis. The advice that I was given was to finish with a word from the Gemara and then to make the Hadran. And a very interesting thing happened to me yesterday that I mentioned in my drosha, which I wrote already days and days ago, that the Jewish people should be careful not to cause disunity and to split. And this was a verse that I came across learning yesterday. זקן מאמר עדת דתמה שלא הורגו, אבל לחזירו לא היו מחזירים אותו למקומו. ושבעתי אצל רבי יהודה בן בתר לנציבין, על שניים הודע לי ועל אחד לא הודע לי. על זקן מאמר לא הודע לי, כדאי שלא ירבו מחלוקת בישראל. The Gemara also qualifies the final part of your Bishur's Pirasa. Give me a second, please, sorry. Zakan Mamra, in the case of the Zakan Mamra, how to determine that which you say that his antagonists, the judges whose ruling in contest may pardon him. It's true only to the extent law or abroad that they may choose not to kill him. Aval Chaziro, but as far as restoring to his position as the judge is concerned, Lo ayu machzirin otolim kumo. The judge of the court may not restore him to his place as a judge. So here we have a situation where we have a court case, and you have disputing different ideas, and you don't want to have people causing machloket and bad feeling between them. The Gemara assumes its citation of the Brass of Yeshua. For discussion of whether the court may pardon him only before his verdict is decided, or even afterwards. Korban Ha'eda writes that the court that pardons him is the court in his home city of which he is a member. This seems difficult because the offense for which he is being tried is not for disagreeing with the members of that court, but for not accepting the ruling of the Sanhedrin. Rashas to Sanhedrin 88b indeed says that it is only the Sanhedrin that can pardon him, and not his own court. This is also implied by the words. The Gemara assumes its citation of Brass of Yoshia, where Shabbati Etzel Rabbi Yehuda ben V'tar let Nitzivin, but when I came to Rabbi Yehuda ben V'say Nitzivin, Al-Snaim Odali, he agreed with me about two cases that a husband may pardon his wife who is suspected of being a sota, and that parents may pardon their son who is a ben sori or mareh. Al-Echad Lo Adali, but about one of the cases did not agree with me. Al-Zaken Mamra Lo Adali, he did not agree with me about Zaken Mamra. Rather, he maintained the court could not pardon Zaken Mamra. So that dispute should not increase in the nation of Israel, make it look as if there are two Torahs. If judges were to be forgiven for disputing the rules of the Sanhedrin, they would continue to rule as they thought and not as the Sanhedrin ruled. This would result in the perception that there is more than one Torah. To prevent this from happening, it is necessary to make an example of Zaken Mamre and not pardon him. Hadranalach Talmud Yerushalmi. Hadranalach Datanalach Talmud Sanhedrin v'Datachalam. Talmud Yerushalmi. v'Datachalam. Lo nitnashai minach Talmud Yerushalmi v'lo nitnashai minan. Lo ba'alma adayin v'lo ba'alma da'atay. Hadranalach Talmud Yerushalmi v'Datachalam. Datanalach Talmud Yerushalmi v'Datachalam. Lo nitnashai minach Talmud Yerushalmi v'lo nitnashai minan. Lo ba'alma adayin v'lo ba'alma da'atay. Hadranalach Talmud Yerushalmi v'Datachalam. Datanalach Talmud Yerushalmi v'Datachalam. Lo nitnashai minach Talmud Yerushalmi v'lo nitnashai minan. Lo ba'alma adayin v'lo ba'alma da'atay. Yira Talmud Fanach Adonai Le'en v'Lotayni Shetayet V'Atcham V'Tayni V'Olam Hazeh V'Tayni V'Olam Haba. Hanina B'Papa, Rami B'Papa, Nachman B'Papa, Achai B'Papa, Abba B'Papa, Ephraim B'Papa, Rachid B'Papa, Sucha B'Papa, Ada B'Papa, Dara B'Papa. הלב נעד נעלה עיני דברי תורתך בפינו פביעות עמך בית ישראל ונהיה כולנו אנחנו וצאצאנו צאצאמך בית ישראל כולנו יודעי שמך ולמדי תורתך מעברת חיינו מצוותיך כי לעולם היא לי בי תמים וחוקיך למען לא אבוש לעולם לא אשכח פקודיך כי בם חקתני ברוך אתה אדוני למדנו חוקיך למען המים סלע ועד מודים אנחנו לפניך אדוני להם ולבתינו ששמת חלקנו ושבעי בית המדרש ולא שמת חלקנו ושבעי קרנות שאנו משקיעים והם משקיעים אנו משקיעים דברי תורה והם משקיעים דברים בטלים אנו מלאים והם המלאים אנו מלאים מקבלים השכר והם המלאים ואינם מקבלים שכר אנו רצים והם רצים אנו רצים חיי עולם הבא והם רצים לבאי שחת ולמה אתר אליהם תורידם לבאי שחת אנשי דמים ולמה לא יחצו ימיהם ואני אפתח בך יהי רצון לפניך אדוני אלוהי בשם שעזרתני לסיים תלמוד ירושלמי כן תעזרני להתחיל נסתות סברים אחרים לסיימם ללמוד ללמד לשמור לעשות לקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה בזכות כל התנאים והאמרים תלמידי חכמים יעמוד לי זרי שלא תמוש התורה מפי זרי וזרע זרי עד עולם ותתקיים בי ותנחה תנחה אותך ושוחר תשמע לך, והקיצותיו היא תשיחך. כי בלי ירבו ימך ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים. אורך ימים בימינה ושמאלה עושר וכבוד. אדוני עוז למענתן, נא יברך דמו בשלום. שתדרה הכלל בגבה ומעקב הרחנה מקראה מן הרעה ולהטבה והרחנה די שמעה לתרי ומיית קודשה ויקי ומחותי ויקרא ותרקון יונחון הקרא לכל בית ישראל ובעגלה בזמן קריב דילו אמן Shalom aleinu, kol Yisrael,
Shkoyach to my father. What a schus for all of us to be in this unbelievable experience. Your drosha, like you, was absolutely amazing, and your achievements absolutely amazing. As I mentioned before, BMCC, Beis Midrash Chofetz Chaim, for those who are not so fluent, was responsible for starting my dad on this journey. And just as consistent as my dad is in his learning, Chofetz Chaim is the same in being the rock and the foundation upon which his Torah growth is built. Today, there is a different leader at the helm of this wonderful institution, and Rav Goldschmidt plays as vital a role as Rav Pfeiffer does in my father's life. It's with tremendous chus that I'm able to call up Rav Goldschmidt to introduce our guest speaker for tonight, Rav Goldschmidt.
Birshus, all the Rabbonim present, all the Talmidei Chachamim, everybody on both sides of the Mechitza who came to honor the Torah, and especially to welcome all the Bochim, all the youths that are here. And I hope that you will be inspired. Shechiyonu v'kimonu v'giyonu lazman hazeh. That Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, thank you for being part, to be able to be part of a Siyum, of a Balabos who never stepped foot in a yeshiva, to be able to make a Siyum of Shas Yerushalmi. It's a moment, it's a display of Koved HaTorah, of the honor of Torah. Fill a very big mazel tov. In this week's Parsha, the Torah tells us about the kior, the basin that was donated by the righteous women, and there's no question about it that the schus of one's Torah is due and goes equally, if not more, to one's spouse. A very big Asher Koyach to the whole Abelson family. The Kodshim, when it comes to the halachas of Beis Hamikdash, halayla hoylech hachayoim, the night goes by the day. A korban, a sacrifice that was brought by day, can be eaten by night. Today, that means Sunday, was the yahrzeit of the late Rav of Yerushalayim, Rav Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, Zatzal. And he said on the pasuk, Tzion b'mishpat tipode v'shaveh b'tzdaka. It's the pasuk, the last pasuk of Chazoin Yishayahu, the first vision of Yishayahu Hanavi, saying that Tzion, Yerushalayim, will be redeemed with justice, and its captive with tzedakah. But the Vilna Gaon writes in Evan Shleimo that the Geula, the redemption, will come b'schus ha-Torah, in the merit of the Torah, not in the merit of justice and tzedakah. They asked this Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, so he said, Tzion b'mishpat tipodeh is gematria. It's the same numerical value as Talmud Yerushalmi, 1076. The Shovel b'tzdaka is the same numerical value as Talmud Bavli, 524. Tonight is the yahrzeit of the Talmud Yerushalmi of our generation. The Godel that enlightened Klal Yisrael in Torah, in Midas, in Halacha, Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Zecher Tzadik Livrocha. We have a schus to have tonight a Talmud Yerushalmi, a Talmud Chochem of Yerushalayim. What I didn't know until literally 2 minutes ago, that the mazel tov that we can extend to our guest speaker who left everything, Harav Sholem Perel, a chavrusa of one of the greatest Gedolei Torah geniuses of our generations, Harav Tzvi Kushulevsky, is chavrusa, a Magid Shir, person has been spreading Torah for decades, inspiring, and also here in Johannesburg, in the few days he was here, has inspired so many of different ages. He's a Talmud of Yerushalmi. But what I didn't know, that his daughter, Miriam Blume got engaged to a bacher called Shlomo Zalman. And it was a week ago, he didn't cancel his trip. And I will leak you something. Phil had an intention for this evening to make a fundraiser for BMCC a little bit in a discreet, very slippery way on the poster. And I'm going to preach here all rules, and I'm going to tell you like this, to introduce our speaker. Anyone that comes to Rav Sholem Perel, starts to speak to him on any subject that is any way linked to any Yeshivish Masechta, and he can beat him, BMCC will give 1,000 rands. But if he can beat you, then 500 rands go to BMCC and 500 rands for the chasana of Miriam Blume with Shloime Zalman. Want to wish a very big mazel tov. And just to say, you know, is there Harav Perel such a godel, such a godel in Yedias HaTorah, and has inspired so many people, and Phil, a quiet balabos in the end of Africa. What is joining them together? I was looking for something common, the Tzad HaShoveh. And the Tzad HaShoveh that I came about is, they both shikar about Torah. They both, the modern word, the Yeshiva Tana doesn't even know what that word means. I'll translate it to you. They are addicted to Torah. That's the word, addicted. If they are one day without Torah, Tisha B'Av is Gehenim for both of them. Mazel Tov, Harav Sholem Perel.
The Morad Hasra of Chofetz Chaim, of Goldschmidt Shlite, for the Rabbonim, and all of you assembled here to give honor to the Torah, who have stayed even after the main course, in order to be able to hear a little bit of more Divrei Torah, and to honor our Baal Simcha, the Chosan HaTorah, the Shrage Feive, Baruch Hashem. I think the name Abelson says, if you are able to do, you're able to do everything. Finish Bavli, Yerushalmi, Abelson. I think we all have to learn that we're all able, as we heard before. We all can do it. All we need is the willpower. We need to want, and then we can do it all. That's one of the big messages that I believe we can glean from tonight's Simcha. As the song was played just now, Da lecha beni, she'HaKadosh Baruch Hu iti. Know, my son, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me. If there's any words that could introduce the story of tonight, the Baal Simcha, those are the words. What would you do without the Siyata Dishmaya, without the help of heaven? HaKadosh Baruch Hu iti, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me. Sends you all the shas that you need from the end of the world. And to get such a beautiful, warm letter from the head of Art Scroll is unbelievable. Such a surprise. And the Siyata Dishmaya to give you the willpower to continue the arduous task of finishing Talmud Yerushalmi. Who could imagine this? It's all Da lecha beni, she'HaKadosh Baruch Hu iti. And it continues with Ashreichem Yisrael, Ashreichem Yisrael. We, the Jewish people, have the great osher, the great opportunities. We have such a great possibility that HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps us and is with us. As was mentioned before, tonight is the yahrzeit of Reb Shloime Zalman Auerbach. Reb Shloime Zalman Auerbach Zecher Tzadik V'Kodesh Levracha, was very, very, very quiet. He wasn't one of the famous names in the public Israeli crowds. He didn't make noise. He was a poisek of the generation. Everyone would ask him, but who knew about him? Besides all those who would ask the shilas and all those that had to do with his circle. And then it was the night that he departed from the world, and the whole Jerusalem was speaking about that the day after there's going to be a funeral that's going to just close up the whole Jerusalem. It's all going to be closed. There's going to be a funeral of about expected 250,000 people, 300,000. And the whole Israeli press was astounded. Who is this? What's going to block the whole Jerusalem? What's going to stop the whole state of affairs, the normal state of affairs? What's happening? And they hear a name, Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. Who is that? And then they begin to hear about this tzaddik, this great gun who kept quiet. Hatznei Aleches. Everything was quiet. And he was accomplishing so much. And he was one of the greatest princes of the Torah, that the Jewish people who knew him understood his greatness, and that would therefore bring all different holy Yidden from all over Eretz Yisrael to go and converge on Jerusalem, and join in the funeral of this Gadol Hador. Hatznei Aleches im Elekecha. Also, I think that would very much fit the Chosn Torah of tonight. Quiet, but accomplishing so much. Hatznei Aleches. And there's always a time when one has to acknowledge those tzaddikim that dwell within our midst, and in order not so much to honor them, but to honor their Torah, to honor their achievements, in order to cause others to follow and learn from their example. Reb Shraga Feive and Phil Abelson would not want to make this whole celebration, the Torah celebration, if not that it would bring to a chizuk, it would come and strengthen all of us in learning of the Torah, in pursuit of the world of spirituality. That's why we are here tonight, and that's why we are celebrating tonight. Rabbi Isai, I would say that the night that we discuss and we feel Kavod HaTorah, we'll say over a word that Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach used to always say. And it goes with a beautiful story that I saw today from one of his very close confidants that lived right next to him and was his brother-in-law. There was a very famous Maggid of Jerusalem, Rabbi Sholem Shvadron, Zecher Tzadik V'Kodesh Levracha. He was unbelievable. He was a mashgiach in a yeshiva, but he would go around the world and he would give different drushes, and he was an orator. Oh, was he an orator? But he was a big tzaddik. He was everything. He was a goyin, he was a tzaddik, and he was the Maggid. His great Talmud disciple is the famous Rabbi Pesach Krum. The Maggid speaks. That's the Maggid that he was discussing. So I want to tell you a word from Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach and a story that Sholem Shvadron used to say, and I believe that should be enough for tonight. I mean, the Olam is already here for a long time, and we've heard so many beautiful speeches. Let's go away with a short word. There's a beautiful medrash. Medrash discusses a pasuk, a verse. In the pasuk it says something very special about our holy Torah. You know what it tells us? Yekarahi, our Torah is precious. Mipninim, more than diamonds, more than the most expensive, precious gem. No, if we would stop over there, we wouldn't have a medrash. The medrash continues and tells us the following. We think, let's envision the Mishkan, the Beis HaMikdash. Let's envision the holiest day in the year, Yom Kippurim. Let's envision the holiest man in Klal Yisrael, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. Let's put it all together. A high priest on Yom Kippurim and in going inside to the Holy of Holies. Lifnai v'lifnim. What would you say? Here you have this holiness, this great Kohen Gadol in the holiest day, in the holiest place on earth. And let's see a Talmud Chacham, some student of Torah, sitting and learning in some little yeshiva or some little kollel. And we're going to weigh one versus the other. And the Medrash tells us an astounding fact, that if you have that Talmud Chacham who's learning and not anyone knows about him, he's quiet in some corner on earth. And you have the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippurim, who enters into Kodesh HaKadoshim, the holiest of holiest, holiest of holies. The Medrash tells us an astounding fact. Yekara hi mipninim. The Talmud Chacham who's learning the Torah is Yekara. He's more precious. Mipninim. What is pninim? It has in it two words. Lifnai v'lifnim. Pninim. Lifnai v'lifnim. That's what the Medrash tells us. And what is it trying to tell us? That the kesher, the closeness we have to the Rabbeinu Shalom by our Torah, is even more than what the Kohen Gadol can do and get and acquire on the holiest day in the holiest of holies. Because Torah is the Kodesh HaKadoshim of the Rabbeinu Shalom. And this one who sits and toils in Torah and connects to Torah, he is more than the lifnai v'lifnim of the Kohen Gadol on the holiest day, because he's connecting even more. That's what the Medrash is telling us. What did Reb Shlomo Zalman add on this whole thing? He asked like this: why did the Medrash take the verse out of its simplicity? Don't we all understand it's a beautiful prose? Yekara hi mipninim. The Torah is more precious than diamonds, than gems. I think here in South Africa we know what a diamond is, what a gem is. Rabbi Sai, why don't we learn simple? Why does the Medrash say that it doesn't mean that? It means to tell us about a Kohen Gadol, lifnai v'lifnim, and it's telling us something about the Torah, bringing you closer to Hashem. So said Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach Zatzal, there's a very good reason for it. You know why? How could you compare diamonds, which is physical, how much it might sparkle, to something spiritual, everlasting, netzach nitzachim? It just doesn't compare. You can't say this is more precious than this. Has no connection one to the other. There's no way of weighing one opposite the other. They're in different worlds. So how could the Pasuk tell us, Yikara hi mipninim, that the Torah is more precious than gems, if there's no way of connecting the two? Because one is physical, and it's just for a certain time, and one is everlasting, and one is spiritual, and it's godly. How could you in the world connect the two? So that's where the Medrash understood that we're talking about a different message entirely. We know that Torah is much more precious than the most precious thing upon earth here in the physical world. But it's coming to tell us something which weighs one with opposite the other. We're both talking about Kirvas Hashem. Both things are bringing you close to the Rabbeinu Shalom. And it's telling us, Yekara hi, the Torah that brings close to the Rabbeinu Shalom, is mipninim. It's more than the closeness and the holiness, which is comparable. And it's just much more than that. From which holiness? From the Kohen Gadol coming in to the Kodesh HaKadoshim on the holiest day, on Yom Kippurim. So we mentioned Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Zecher Tzadik Livrocha, his schus should hover over all of us and bring us a lot of blessing in the world. And I wanted just to add the story that goes with the not the Shlomo Zalman, but with the Maggid of Jerusalem, of Shalom Shvadron Zatzal. One day, he comes to yeshiva. He was in a yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael a long time ago. There was a yeshiva called Tiferes Tzvi, the glory of Tzvi. And nothing to do with my yeshiva, Tzvi Krishlevsky. It was a different Tzvi, Tiferes Tzvi. And he comes in the middle of first Seder, what's called the first session. And he sees a Talmud that he's trying to learn. And in the middle of his learning, whoop, his head droops. He falls, sleeps a little bit. And then somehow, after a few minutes, he wakens up. He tries again to learn. And again his head falls. And so it went on 3-4 times. Avshalom Shvadron, in those days, he was the mashgiach of that yeshiva. So he felt he had a responsibility. Something must be wrong over here. Maybe we have to help this student. Maybe he doesn't feel well. Maybe he needs a doctor. Who knows what? So he goes over to him and he says, "My dear, what is wrong with you? Something, you don't feel well today?" He says, "Rebbe, no, everything is fine. Everything's fine." So what is happening? So he told him like this. The day before, Reb Shalom Shvadron, as Mashgiach, said over this word. I don't know if he said it b'shem of Shlomo Zalman or he said it on his own. And he was such an orator that he was able to picture, he was able to make the Talmidim see that holiness of Torah. And it meant so much to them. So this Talmud says, when I heard this word from my Mashgiach, which is you, I went home at night and I just wasn't able to sleep. I said, if the Torah is so precious, I just have to continue learning it. And it kept me going a whole night. And I woke up. I didn't wake up. I slept. I didn't sleep. And I come here, and I'm trying to keep up, and it's just not going. That was a story of a Talmud that heard this word, and how much it affected him, how much it didn't let him sleep the whole night. I'm not saying that you guys won't sleep tonight. Everybody's going to go sleep. But we can learn from this how important the Torah is, how much we have to appreciate every moment we have to learn. And that's what we could take with us. We could take with us the Yekara Hi Mipninim, that Kvod HaTorah that we're celebrating tonight, the Torah celebration. Was is Torah? How much it brings to Kirvas Elikim. And Rabbi Isai, when we're close to Hashem, we are close to the source of all blessing. We are close to the source of all life. We are close to the source of all shefa in the world. So let me then conclude with a word from one of my very, very holy ancestors. He was a very great Rebbe from the world Hasidus in Poland, Radomsk. There was a city called Radomsk. And there was the very famous Tiferes Shloime. Today, there's very little left of Radomsk. But the Sefer Tiferes Shloime is it's like an encyclopedia for every chassid. There are no Rebbes that doesn't know the Tiferes Shloime. Everyone knows the Tiferes Shloime. And listen to this beautiful word from Tiferes Shloime about a Siyum, and with this we can make a Siyum, mamish a Siyum, the finish. Rabbi Isai, we was mentioned before, this beautiful piece of Gemara in Shabbos, Daf Kuf Yud Tes Amud Aleph. The Gemara tells us that about Abaye, who Rashi says was a Rosh Hashiva, and what would he do when there was a Talmud Chacham or a Talmud that would finish a Mesechte, Avidna Yuma Tova Lekule Rabbanon. He would make a big Suda, a whole Yom Tif, Lekule Rabbanon for all the rabbis. Now, did he make it for those in the yeshiva? I don't think so. Because we start off, it says, Surva Merabonon. That's what it talks about when it talks about young disciples. And he's a Rosh Hashiva, so he's making a Yom Tef Lekul Rabbanon. What is he doing? He's inviting all the rabbis of the city. Because there's some little student that finished a Masechta in his yeshiva. So it's a big question. What does the Gemara really mean? Tzurva Ma'abanan, the Shalom Masechta, the Tzurva Ma'abanan finishes a Masechta, Avidna Yumetava, I make a Yomtiv, Lekulu Rabbanan for all the rabbis. Listen to what only the Tefer Shloimeh says, and he could say such a thing. He says like this, you know, every Masechta is full of Tanoim and Amiroim, the Mishnayos and the Gemara. You have Rabbi Yochanan and you have Rava. You have Abaye, you have Rav Papa, you have all these names that even in Yerushalmi, only in Yerushalmi you might even find such names. Very interesting names, Rav Yoisa, Rav Chaim, all these interesting names you find all over the Yerushalmi. Every Masechta has those great rabbis. Those great rabbis, in their learning, opened a fountain of hashpoas, of all types of good things, because Torah brings all the good from heaven. And when we finish a Masechta, and we celebrate the Siyum Masechta, says the Tefer Shloimeh, we awaken all those great rabbis that are part of this Masechta, and their schus, the schus of their learning, their koach HaTorah, the well springs of sustenance that they opened up, they open up for us too. Says the Heilige Tefer Shloimeh, that is what the Gemara means to say. Avidne Yumatave, I would be able to make a Yom Tif. A Yom Tif means I can make a big celebration. I can make a Yom Tif, which means that there's going to be a fantastic time for everyone. That's what a Yom Tif is like. A lot of food, a lot of joy. The world's going to be full of joy. And how is there going to be so much joy in the world? Because I'm going to wake up Lekulu Rabbanon for all those rabbis in the Masechta. They're going to bring the bracha. Rabbi Isai, tonight, we have the whole Talmud Yerushalmi in front of us. We have all the rabbis from brachas all the way till the end, that we are awakening their koyach tonight. And for all of you who came to participate in this Gewaldige Simcha, let Kulu Rabbanon, all these great rabbis, let them open the well springs for all of us. As this week we are all going to be asking in the Birkas HaChodesh, we should all have Chaim Shel Shalom, Chaim Arukim, Chaim Shel Bracha, Chaim Shel Parnasa, Chaim Shel Avas Torah V'Yiras Shamayim, Chaim Shel Oisha V'Kavod, and Chaim Sheyemale Hashem Kol Mish'alois Libeinu L'Toiva. Kodesh Baruch Hu should help that our dear Reb Shrage Feive should continue on giving us inspiration and bringing the holy words of Torah into South Africa, all over, in any place, even in the bush, as we heard before. All over, spread the word of Torah, spread the kesher of the Rabbeinu Shalom, awaken all the sustenance, and the Rabbeinu Shalom should give us all a tremendous, happy Hemshech of the year, coming Chodesh Adar, and Purim, Oira, V'Simcha, Oira Zutayra, V'Sasain, V'Kar, Kain, Tia, Lanu, B'Meheira, B'Yameinu, Amen, V'Amen. Mazel Tov.
So achievements of this incredible magnitude are seldom possible without the help of others. Therefore, there are a few thank yous that are required before Rav Cohen will lead us in benching just after dessert. First and foremost, Mother, you'll have to put down your phone. Don't embarrass your mother, Daniel. First and foremost, a massive, massive thank you to my mother for her unwavering support of my father's learning. It should be known that a wife who supports her husband in learning is really giving up her most prized possession, her spouse. She's giving up her time with him, and it's something that is unparalleled in the world. It's an unbelievably holy cause, and this is a tremendous self-sacrifice, which is of the highest order. Your astonishing love and support will undoubtedly be rewarded tenfold in both this world and the next. Thank you to my mom for allowing my dad to pursue this holiest of pursuits. Sorry for embarrassing you. I love you. Thank you to Siyum Shul for making the hall and all these facilities available to us. Thanks to Adam and Celeste for designing the poster and for doing such a good job. Thank you to my brothers for agreeing to speak. You both spoke very well. And then absolutely gargantuan, the size of her heart. That's how big a thank you we want to give to my sister Zara for so much that it's literally impossible to mention it all. However, as an expression of my dad's gratitude, could you please come up and receive a gift of his as a tiny token of his unimaginable love and gratitude towards you. A massive thank you to Hagaon, Harav, Perel. Thank you again so much. It's truly an honor. And to all the other speakers as well. Thank you to Rav Goldschmidt, to Rav Cohen, to Rav Feufe in his absence, for all that you've done for my father. You've assisted him beyond your wildest dreams, to be honest. Thank you to everyone at Beis Midrash Chafetz Chaim for your never-ending support of my dad. I truly appreciate it. And I know they were mentioned before, and I'm loath to say it because I don't want to forget others, but I just can only see what I witness. And I just want to say thank you to Yisachar, and in his absence to Gabriel again. What they do for my father, they actually don't realize. They drive him onwards and onwards and onwards, and it's very, very special. Shkoyach. Then I just want to thank you all who have made it out tonight. I know it's gone on, but I really appreciate it immensely, and Hashem does as well, because your presence tonight has honored Torah, and that's what we're here to do. And finally, last but not least, thank you to the Talmud of our sacred teachings, to a wonderful husband, to a brilliant father, to a Baal Chesed, a Baal Tzedakah, a Baal Abayit, and a Mensch. To a leader, to a scholar, and a shining example and an inspiration to us all. Keep up the astonishing work in all aspects of your life. May Hashem shower you in bracha and provide you with the mazel you so richly deserve, in order for all your dreams to become a reality. May you go Michael El Chayil. Mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov.